Hey guys, so today I am going to be giving you all a tutorial using CSS. So in my previous video we built this piece of code here which basically gives us this web page. It's completely in HTML, so I suggest you go check that out if you haven't already, because we're just going to be building on from this project to show you how you can use CSS in HTML. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to jump straight into it, is the header tag. Now, I said in the previous video, the header tag is simply for a title, any JavaScript or any style sheets or any links or anything like that. So we're going to put a link in below the title, and it's going to be link href equals, we'll leave that blank for a second, rel equals, and we're going to use style sheet even, and type equals, oh my gosh, what is happening today? Type equals text slash CSS, and we're going to close this off. Okay, so this basically is just telling us that it's a style sheet. This is saying it's a text slash CSS sheet. And in here, we're going to put the link to the style sheet. So we haven't got one yet, so we're just going to call it styles.css, uppercase S. And then we're going to add a new style sheet to our Notepad++. And we're not going to write anything in it. We're just going to go File, Save As. And you're going to save this in the file that you have your HTML page in. Okay, and you're going to call it the same, so styles.css, uppercase S because I said uppercase S, and we're going to go down until we find .cs, I believe. There's no others, is there? .css even, sorry. There we go. And that's it. Now we're going to want to go ahead and set the L language to C, and we're going to go CSS just in case it didn't already do that for you there. And then we're going to go ahead and start styling. So the first thing that we're going to style is the body, which is the entire content section, which is all of this bit of code. Now, to target the body directly, we don't need to do anything because we've already got the body tag. So we simply write body and then we open up a set of curly braces. Now I'm going to show you how we can change the background color, and we're going to change it to a random color. We're just going to say gray. Now in CSS there are a few words that you can type out, so gray, yellow, red, green. You can also use hex codes, so for example hashtag FFF I believe is white. So you can just Google your hex code. I'm going to save that, and we're going to save this page, and I'm going to run it to show you guys what happens. So now we have a grey background. Just so you know, we have not done anything to the HTML apart from add a link to our style sheet. So now we're going to go back. Now if you want to change the font style, you can also do that in CSS. There are so many different types available out there. So I suggest you just have a Google for which type you prefer, but I like to use this one here, and it's lowercase, and I'll save that, and we need to run it in the HTML, in the index page, because I'll just show you quickly. If we launch this, we simply just get the code. So we need to launch it from the page. Now you will notice that the font has changed. Just so you can check, that was the font previously, and this is the new font. And you'll notice that it's targeted every single piece of text on the page, including the footer copyright. Even though we're targeting the body, it targets everything that is text related. Now if you did another one underneath this, for example, if I wanted to then do background color red, it will overwrite the grey because red comes after. So if I just quickly run this, you'll see that it runs that. So it needs to go in the order that you set it to. So we'll just delete that there for you. Now if you guys wanted to do a image, you can do a background image and its URL, and then you open a set of curly brackets and you need to put in the URL. So if you save an image, so just so you can see, I've just got a random image of a background. Now we need to say the exact name, so it's background.jpg, so background.jpg, and that is it, and simply save it, and we will launch it in Chrome. Oh, sorry, we need to launch it in this page, and now we get a beautiful image to the background. So it was grey and now it's an image, just so you guys can see. And again, if we was to put the background colour after the background image, nothing will happen. Now there are various other CSS style functions such as no repeat, positioning it, but I feel like that background image is quite well set for me. I don't think I need to change any of that, so we're just going to go ahead and leave that. And now we're going to go back and have a look at what else we want to style. So after the body tag, we've got our H tags, which are our headers. So if you want to style these, again, we don't need to target them. We don't need to create any divs or add anything to the HTML. We will simply go back to the style sheet and we will just go H1, curly brace, open it. Now if we do colour red, for example, and we save this and we run it, the welcome tag has become red, which is quite standout and quite bold. However, it's a welcome tag, it's a H tag, it's the first thing that we see. I want it in the center. So we do text align, center. We simply save this and we run it again. And now it's moved to the middle, so that's where it was and that's where it is now. And so we'll go back and we will go back to the code, and now we'll just style our H2 tag just to show you. So we'll do colour and we'll try yellow. They may not work, and we will do font style this time. So I'm just giving you guys various sort of difference of what you can do, and we'll do this one in italic. Now of course if you wanted all of this in the H1, you simply just put them in there. You can just mix and match. Simply have fun with CSS. I love CSS, it's so much fun. So now it's yellow, it's a bit hard to read with the background, but it's italic. Now if we wanted to go ahead and just do the same for like our H3, we can do colour as grey, and we can do text align, center, and we'll do font style as bold. And I'll just go ahead and run that just so you guys get the idea of how you can style the fonts. So that's a various example of styling the H tags. The same can be done for the P tag, but doing this style, it will apply to all of the tags. So just to quickly show you, if I do H1 test back and close the H1 tag there, and we run this, it follows the same. So it will style it exactly the same. If you wanted it to target this one individually, you can do ID equals, and we will do H1 test. And then if we go and we target a, let's just have to ask an ID. So we do H1 tag, and we do, I think I may have targeted this wrong, we'll just check in Chrome. Yeah, so if we go back and we change the dot to a hash, we save that now, and we launch in Chrome. I spelled it wrong. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. H1 test is what I called it there. Let me launch it in Chrome. Now it's there. It's just in white, so it's hard to read. But that's just so you guys are aware. So you simply put in ID equals and you can put hash. Now that is good, but you can only target something once with the same. So if you want to target several things, then you use a class. So moving on, we're going to style the list, something a little bit more different, and we're going to use something called a div. Now a div tag is HTML, so I'll just quickly show you what it is, and we're going to close it after the URL, so it targets everything within it. So we're going to use another ID, and we're going to call this nav. We're going to go back and we're going to do hashtag nav and then open up our curly braces. Now, sorry guys, the nav bar is within a UL, which is the list style, so we're going to write UL after it. So now we're going to do list, and we're going to do list style type as none, and we're going to center this. So we're going to do margin as 0, and we're going to do margin, we're going to do margin, no, we'll do padding as 0, and text align as center, and I will just quickly save that, and I will just quickly run that, and nothing has happened yet because we have not targeted the LIs. So we go back and we will target hashtag nav li and the UL, and we will do display inline, and then I will quickly just do target it again and just the LIs this time. And actually, because it's in a UL, so you've got ULs, you've got LIs, and you've got A's, so you need to target them all if you're going to want to make change. So we'll do UL, LI, and A. And we're going to do text decoration as none, and this gives it, make sure it's not underlined and looking like a hyperlink. And then we're going to do color as red, just so it stands out a little easier. And we'll save this as well. We'll launch it in Chrome. And now you will see they're in the center. These are our links, so when we click shoes, we get taken to our shoe page, and so on and so forth. Now, if you don't like the spacing in between the two and you want a bit more of a space, you can do that in this section here. And all you need to do is you need to do margin left and just give it an estimation. So we'll do 0.5 and we'll do margin right 0.5 and we'll run that, and we should get a bit of a gap now. You see, 0.5 is more than enough, I believe. You could probably do 1 depending on what you want. If you didn't want it centered, you wanted it to the right, you can do it to the right. If you want it to the left, you can do it to the left. Now if you want it to be a bit more noticeable that they are buttons, you can do something called a hover feature. So we now do nav ULLIA hover, open the curly braces, and we're going to do color as green. Probably the worst color combination ever. I am sorry guys, I'm just, whatever. So now you'll see that they're hovering in green. It's quite a nice feature. I really like this, and obviously you can style these a little bit more to your taste. If you wanted them bold, if you wanted the font size bigger, you can do that. And just briefly showing you all the different things that you can style. So the next thing that we're going to style is our image. And I want the image to be in the center, and I want to put a border on the image. So I'm going to use div, and I'll use a class just to show you what I mean. And we're going to call this product, and we're going to close the div here. So class with ID, it can only be used once. So we've only got one header, we've only got one, not header, we've only got one nav bar, so we're targeting it once. However, with the shoe picture, we're going to have more than one image that is going to be styled like this, so we're going to call it product. So we're going to go to our styles, and we're going to do dot product, and we're going to open up our curly braces. So I'm going to display in a block, and in fact, actually, I'm going to put the closing div tag at the end of the form. So you guys see there is closing, because I want to style everything. So I want to style the image and the form. So we're going to display them all in a block. We're going to do margin left as auto. And we're going to do margin right as auto. And that's going to position it in the center for us. And we're going to do text align as center for any text that we've got in our form. Because remember, we've got these here which are text, which need to be centered. And we'll save that, and we'll see what that looks like. And remember to save that, and we'll launch it. Ta-da! So now we've got this in the center, we've got this, and we've got this. And I quite like it. I really do like it. So if we want a border around the image here, we'll go back and we'll just do it above the product, and we'll do img, oops, and we'll do border as 1 pixel solid. We'll do it as that, which is like a light grey hex code, but you can just do solid grey, solid red, or you can use hex. We'll do border radius, yeah, as 4 pixels, and we will do padding as 5 pixels, and we'll just save this, and it'll be a little bit hard to see, so I'm going to get rid of the background image just so you guys can see. So we'll stick with grey, and that's what it looks like. So now we've got this line all the way around. So the padding by 5 pixels is the 5 pixels is the space, the little space that goes all the way around the grey bit, should I say. The 1 pixel solid line is the width of the line. So if you wanted it bigger, you can do 5 pixels and it'll be a little bit more bolder. And that's it. So we'll now just style the footer really quickly. So we will do ID equals copyright. And we'll do hashtag copyright. And we're going to make this smaller. So we're going to do font size. And we're going to do it as 10 pixels. And we will text align to the center. And we will save. And we will run. Now our copyright is smaller and it is centered. Again, if you wanted to change the color, you can do that. But that is it. That is pretty much it for this tutorial. So you need to have this piece of code here to link you to your style sheet. It needs to be the same in capital letter and spacing, things like that. If you want to target anything that is already a HTML tag, so body, the H1s, the paragraphs, an image, you don't have to write a dot or a hashtag. You simply just write image or H1 or body. If you wanted to target an individual header or an individual paragraph, then you can either do ID equals and give it an ID name, and then you target an ID by using a hashtag. So like here, hashtag, and whatever you gave the name as, it needs to be the same spelling, but then you can only use that for once. If you want to use it to repeatedly use again, maybe on other pages you want the paragraph to be styled the same as this paragraph, then you would use a class, and then you would give it a value there, and you would target that with a dot like this one here. If you guys don't want to target an individual piece and you want to target a group of things, so we targeted an image and a form, you can use a div tag, and then you can either use class or ID inside the div tag. I hope that makes sense for you guys. If you found it useful, please give this video a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below if you need any help, or if you have any ideas on what you would like to see as a next tutorial video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.